Drive. And we're live!
Whoa, that was some energy.
Thank you.
That was good. She said, I'm going to bring some energy, and then she yelled at us.
I did. You know,
That
sometimes
always
I watch
works.
these replays and I'm like, too loud, Katie. Too loud.
No, that
I
was
got this
perfect.
brand new mic and maybe I don't need it.
Maybe you don't, but I
Hey
think you
guys,
sound great.
welcome to your Tuesday Live. I'm Katie.
I'm Chachi. I didn't know if you were going to introduce me, if I needed to do it myself.
I'm Chachi. That's Katie. We are so happy that you're here. We are going to be talking today about the up-to-date VA free training. And I am so pumped about this topic.
It's a really cool topic. It's kind of different than what we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of practical, but it's also a lot of mindset. So I
It's a
think
lot
it's
of
really
mindset,
good
which is like our
for
favorite
your
thing.
marriage.
Yeah, it's our favorite thing to talk about. If you can hear us and see us, say hey in the comments. Hey, what's up, Audrey? What's up, Suzanne? We are so excited that you're here. And while you're here hanging out, while we're getting our people gathering, we are going to be using StreamYard. So if you want to go ahead and give StreamYard permission, that way when we show you, we see your face and your name like beautiful Lee here. And not like, oh, anonymous
Oh, man.
Facebook user. Actually, you know what? That's not fair. Maybe their first name is Facebook
And last name's user.
and their last name's user, and then that's just what they look like.
Right.
How
Most people
dare I
know.
assume people all have faces?
We appreciate you commenting either way, though.
We really do.
Yeah.
Love that VA with confidence is coming in
New
hot.
to the
That's a
channel.
great name.
Welcome.
Yes. So go ahead and tell us where you're joining from.
That's my
And
favorite
tell
part.
us if you are a new VA or if you are already launched. I want to hear
Ooh,
those two things.
watching from the Philippines. I think this is my favorite part because we get to see how international our audience actually is.
I know. I love it.
Very cool.
It's very cool. Okay. So, and I think we've got a shout out from our sister, Rachel.
Norway.
It's the Can't Stop, Won't Stop duo. Two of my favorite peeps bringing some amazing content today. Thanks,
What the
Rachel.
She's such a
Appreciate
great
that.
herald.
She is. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about who I am, who Chachi is, so that you guys know that where we're coming from here. We have both actually been freelance VAs. We didn't necessarily call ourselves that or knew that's what we were at the time. We just knew we were freelance assistanting with all creative everything. So for me, my story is I was a full-time graphic designer working in the ad agency, then took those skills freelance. Then actually had a side hustle as a photography business that ended up making more money than any of my design stuff. And I went all in on photography and photo editing. And then years and years of that while being a stay-at-home mom, doing the whole work from home side hustle, keyword hustle. We're going to talk about that here in a second. I ended up coming back to my roots, and now I am your marketing girl here at the Virtual Savvy and couldn't be happier. Who are you?
Chachi.
End of sentence.
End of sentence. My name is Chachi Diaz. Back in my heyday, I was actually a youth pastor for a really long time. And if anybody is in youth ministry, you understand that it is full-time work with part-time pay. And that's what it was. When my wife was going to go through grad school for being a speech and language pathologist, we were living on $25,000 a year, which was not going to work with where we lived. And so I had already had graphic design skills. And so I went straight into graphic design. And that was pretty much the way that I got us through my college, got us through financially through her college because she wasn't allowed to work because she had to do practicum and all this other stuff. And then eventually I just started doing that all the time. When I eventually found the Virtual Savvy, that's when I started calling myself a tech VA because I could do websites, I could do funnels, I could do all these certain things. I could fix people's stuff. And so that's what I did for a really, really long time, upwards of 10, almost 15 years. And so eventually I just kind of found my way. I wanted something different. I just wanted to kind of be at home and not do youth pastor stuff anymore. And so I'm full-time here at the Virtual Savvy, running funnels, doing all of that good stuff. But I always had my business as a major source of my income.
Absolutely. And it's so wonderful to be able to supplement your income on the side. If you think about it, you can pretty much make as much as you're willing to spend your time on.
Yep.
which has been a really huge blessing in my family. I know in yours as well. And so, yeah, just to recap that, I basically was a creative VA offering design, marketing, and copy and photos to any business that needed it. And Chachi essentially was like a creative expert. So if you don't know your Savvy Vault quiz result, it will put you in 5 categories. And let's find out if you're like Chachi or like me. So lots of experience coming your way, and we couldn't be more excited about the content today. So here is what we're talking about. Oh, did you see that slick animation?
Wow.
Speaking of up to date.
Up to date. Giving me early 2000s PowerPoint vibes. I like it.
True story. I don't know how I turned that on. I don't know how to turn it off. But don't let that second guess my ability to teach
We
you
are
about
up
tech
to date.
today. Okay? All
We're
right.
not using PowerPoint, by the way.
No, it is Canva, but it does
Speaking
have
of
some
PowerPoint,
slick animation.
PowerPoint has done a lot to update their program, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, don't knock it.
Yeah, so don't knock it
Yes,
till you try it.
yes. Okay, so today we're going to be doing 3 things here. First, we're going to be talking about the biggest struggles that VAs face when trying to keep up with the ever-changing VA tech world. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story, because maybe my story is your story. Then what are we going to do?
The mindset
Chachi?
it takes to become an up-to-date VA. This is probably the biggest chunk of our live today. So stick around for that. It's going to be great.
Yep. And then we're going to let you in on our secret hack that keeps us in the techno, because the not techno, not like techno music. Though I'm not opposed to that. I wouldn't mind being kept in a techno, probably be fine for me. Probably be your nightmare.
It would. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, it would absolutely be my nightmare.
Actually, it would be mine too. Can you hit me with a techno beat? I'm blanking on what that sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like really like in your chest. Anyways, our secret hack
to keep us in a techno. No, to keep us in the techno, because the truth is we actually are both like decently lazy.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, if there's a hack, we're going to take the hack.
True. I like the word efficient is what
okay. Yeah,
I appreciate.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Okay, so if that sounds good, everybody holler in the comments and say Chachi's favorite phrase. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, let's begin. Let's dive in. So I'm going to start a little bit about the biggest hurdles, beginning with my story. Okay. So I have 4 children. And to quote the philosopher Jim Gaffigan, who's actually just a stand-up comedian, do you want to know what it's like having 4 kids? Imagine you're drowning and then someone hands you a baby.
Wow.
So picture you're already and someone goes, quick, take care of this. My dream, I mean this in tongue in cheek, I love my children, and it was a dream of mine to stay at home with them. Honestly, it was a dream of mine to even be able to have kids. I had a huge infertility journey, lots of miscarriages. Oh. So please know that as I talk about this, it is with huge gratitude. That said, holler if you have done the stay-at-home mom thing. It's no joke. It is intense. There is a lot that demands your full attention, your full caretaking. Your physical body is usually being touched. I have this image here where I just think this pretty much sums up my 7 years of being at home. Just somebody's always just physically touching your body, like pulling your hair, ripping your glasses off. I can't tell you how many times I had to like go to the eyeglasses store and get them repaired because like a thing would fall off. Or maybe your husband's always touching your body because I always seem to be pregnant. Okay. Yeah. So yes, while on Instagram, you saw a fort maker and someone who'd be doing paints with their kid, who then you turn around 5 seconds later and it's all over his face in that cute little photo. I mean, I had a lot of kids stacked in pretty tight there. So it was pretty intense. I kept this caption on because it made me laugh. It said, this tea party is going on 2 hours. I'm trying to convince her into making it like a sleepover tea party so I can go take a nap in her bed. I was pregnant and I was so tired. So it looked probably like nonstop fun on Instagram. But the truth is, this was a really challenging time for me. I was trying to keep my photography business alive. the kids would go down for a nap and I'd think, okay, best case scenario, I have 2 hours to try to edit that photo shoot. Go, 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 go. And it can wear on you. It can wear on your mentality. I think I probably really truly had like a low level depression during this whole phase because I was just trying to do it all without asking for help. I had no childcare. I had no community. Instagram sort of became my community,
Yeah.
and I was trying to keep the whole business thing running. So when you do finally have your kid down for a nap, or you hope it's going to last 2 hours, but it could last 20 minutes. It could not even happen at all. Holler if you relate in the comments. I would open my laptop and I would be greeted with this window.
Mm.
Holler in the comments if you have seen this window and if you have chosen to press remind me tomorrow.
I'm
So
not sure
you're
anybody has probably pressed the restart button at the time.
at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm loving the validation here. 2 hours goes by so fast. Yes, no nap days. Oh, Desiree. Single stay-at-home mom, special needs daughter, teenage daughter, caretaker of your elderly mother. I'm gonna burst into tears. So I'm gonna keep going. But yes, if you have seen this screen and you have pressed later or remind me tomorrow, my example during this phase is I'm sitting there thinking, I just need to edit these photos so that the client stops pinging me before my kid gets up. There's no way. I don't know what's on the other side of this room of this update. Am I going to have to learn something? Is it going to I don't know. Are the X's going to be on the other side of the browser now? Because I cannot handle that. I cannot handle a single thing being different about my thing. All I am doing is just churning out as little as I possibly can to keep above this. I'm drowning, right? So I pushed remind me tomorrow. I swear to you, I think I pushed remind me tomorrow every day for 7 years. And so what happens with that? Can anyone relate to this? Chachi, can you relate to like procrastinating a tech update?
I usually don't procrastinate. I usually do things the first time, all
I
the
don't
time.
believe you.
No, I live my life as a procrastinator. But I would also like to know if anybody is a psycho and turned on auto updates. Like if you push that, oh my gosh, you're a whole
Because you
different
don't even
breed.
know if it updated.
Gee, you don't
You're
even know
just
if it
greeted by
updated.
a surprise.
You might not be able to turn on your computer tomorrow. You don't even know.
Exactly.
You
Who's
don't
to
even know.
say? So that said, I finally got to a breaking point when I had my fourth kid and I realized I needed to ask for help. The biggest thing that I needed to do for me was to put some type of childcare into play. And I needed to have at least a few concentrated hours at some point during my week where I
Absolutely.
could completely focus on my business and like a little bit on, I don't know, me like showering or
As a human
as a
person.
human person. And it took a lot because I did have some trauma from the miscarriages and hoping that my kids were going to be okay outside of my care. I had a lot of control issues. Is like I just was so convinced if I wasn't the person who was watching them that some harm would befall them or they would be raised in a way that I mean, it was just really, truly a major mindset hurdle for me at the time. But I'll say that 3 things happened pretty much all at once. I got childcare and it was only part-time, but it was everything. It was
Sure.
absolutely everything. I got medicated. I did all of the work to get myself, get my serotonin levels where they ought to be. And I pushed software. I pushed upgrade. I took some time and I went and reserved some office space at a library for free. And I finally pushed upgrade. And I sat and I did all of the detail work, that non-urgent but very important work that always gets put off. I actually sat and I did that. And those things were learning the software upgrades, setting up my entire business on Dubsado, adding auto reminders, adding all of the stuff that you don't feel like you have time for in your business because clients are pinging you. I took a week off of, or 2 weeks off of, I think, any new client work and just set up my systems, just learned it and set it up. And I swear in the process, my personal person also got a software upgrade. I started taking better care of myself. You can see here I think I lost 80 pounds. And then when I celebrated that by doing a brand photo shoot. And I just remember this shoot being really important to me because it felt like, I'm going to get emotional. It felt like celebrating, getting on the other side of it. And
Absolutely.
I felt really proud of, my business at the time and just taking the time to be a human again. So if anyone can relate to my story,
It's beautiful.
I just want to make sure like you're not alone. And I know that this seems like it's about tech, but it's about so much more than that. And
Mm,
feeling like you're behind and you can't um, get on top of it, it's huge.
yeah.
So if you can relate to that, put it in the comments. We polled some of you, and it sounds like you can relate to some of this. So Chachi, why don't you just read this first top one here? The first top two here in your awesome voiceover voice.
I have been so overwhelmed by learning new platforms. I've been trying to set up Dubsado, still in the process, and following step by step from the course, trying to learn Trello, Canva, definitely a newbie to all of this. Not mentioning trying to find the time every day from having an almost 1-year-old baby boy that needs my attention at all times, even when he's sleeping, and found out that I'm pregnant. So all over the place, and I want to get this up and running. I just need to take a deep breath. I just needed to let it out. I feel like I'm lacking.
Mm,
Sorry.
mm. By the way, we're all crying in the comments. Wasn't planning for this to become an emotional fest, but as you can see, just from I believe that's pronounced familia. Is that right? Chachi's my resident
Familia, yeah.
hard thing to pronounce person. Um, it is emotional. She ended hers with a cry face emoji saying sorry. Please don't say sorry, otherwise I have to say sorry. Katie Barker says, I feel like I don't have the creativity to set up the different platforms. I understand the purpose and function, but am I using them efficiently? I have imposter syndrome. Like this is supposed to be about tech, but listen to all of the messages coming through.
Yeah, there's so much more than that.
There's
There's
so
so
much
much
more
more.
than that.
Yeah. It contributes to such a feeling of being less than. And it's so hard to remove yourself and your value from your ability to do things or your capacity to do things. So it's definitely
That's
much
right.
more than tech.
Yeah. Christian says I'm struggling. Coriana says I'm totally intimidated. Um, Linda says they look to me for tech support, but where's her community to back her up?
Mhm.
I see the word overwhelming. I see struggling to bring it together. You are not alone if you're feeling these feelings. If you guys have something to contribute to your feelings, what makes you feel lack, dump it in the comments and we'll share it here because we're getting into it now. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
We've gathered
Um,
60 of our closest friends and
we
just
are
having a little
just
small group.
we're having a little small group. So this is the common themes of what I learned when I asked our community, what is overwhelming you about tech? And these were kind of the highlights of all of it. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of tools to learn. I'm overwhelmed when those tools change or add new features. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of tutorials online and having to piece them all together. Chachi, have you ever found a tutorial and then you realize it's about the edition that's like 10 years ago? You're like, just watched a
Yeah.
tutorial and it's not even about the year that
Yeah.
you're in. My clients ask me tech questions, but who do I ask? I feel like I need my own tech support. That was a huge thing for me when I left the ad agency and went on my own as a freelance VA. I was used to calling our IT department. These three dudes, they just come to my computer anytime I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Move. Move.
Exactly. Um, and it's scary. It's scary to go freelance because you're going, I don't have a tech support now. I don't have an IT, I don't have any of that. I'm gonna go ahead and read Jasmine's comment because it's intriguing me. This is exactly what I needed to hear because I definitely can relate something I'm currently going through. I'm a
Mm.
stay-at-home mom with a 14-month-old and a 3-year-old between appointments
Oh,
for my son, trying to figure out how to run my business and get more clients, focus on my marriage, right? And
gotta
trying to
do
also
that.
focus on self-care and do things I want to do or figure out who I am now after having children. Who am I now after
Jasmine,
having
when you figure it
children?
out, let me know.
Imposter syndrome is serious over here. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, I constantly feel like I'm lacking, not enough info, not enough knowledge, learning so much in a short amount of time.
Mm.
And this is funny. She clearly knows the Saturday Night Live sketch. Literally, our tech guy told me to move like 1,000 times over the decade. That's an old Jimmy Fallon sketch where he's the tech guy and he's trying to walk people through it, but they can't. And he just goes,
Company's
move.
computer guy.
Yeah. What is it called?
I think the company's computer guy is what it's called.
Nick Burns, your company's computer guy. Okay, so that is truly hurdles that we can all relate to.
Yeah, powerful.
But we're going to combat those with some of the mindset tips that I learned during my personal software upgrade and that Chachi has also learned simultaneously over the years. So instead of telling you, here's what you need to have, which is annoying, we together are going to claim these things as our new identity. Okay.
Yeah.
And you get to say these, even if they're not true right now, because that is how the brain works. We have to say what we want. We have to say what we want to be like. And then we will become those things. Okay. Are you guys with me? Say I'm with you in the comments.
I'm with you.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Good. So
I wasn't before, but in this moment, I heard that story and I said, you know what? I'm going to do it.
I'm with her now. So when you read these, I'd like you guys to practice these by writing these into the comments, okay? And Chachi's going to explain this first one. And then once you understand it, write in the comments, I have a growth mindset. Hit us, Chachi.
All right. I have a growth mindset. I'm going to read the one at the beginning and then we're going to expand on it a little bit. I can't or I will never statements are often a self-fulfilling prophecy. I do it with my parenting and I do it with the little kids that I coach. Nobody says I can't do it. Nobody says I will never do it. It's just not a thing in our vocabulary. It doesn't matter if you probably can't do it. We don't say the words just so that it never becomes, you can say, I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to. That's a completely different thing. Talks about our choices. That's boundaries. I can't do it. Talks about our capacity. And we all have capacity. So it's very different. A growth mindset embraces challenges, change, and critique on the way to learning goals, and accept that skill acquisition requires effort and that improvement is possible and that obstacles and other successes are not reasons to stop your progress. Now, I do want to get into, or I do want to elucidate something here that is really, really important. All of us can have a growth mindset, meaning you can always be a learner, a lifelong learner, and understand that your life will go through these periods of growth and change. However, that does not mean that in every season of your life, you need to be growing. And I think that's an important distinction because I don't want anybody to come here and think that I have to constantly be learning. That will contribute to burnout, inevitably. That will contribute to this feeling of lacking because you will never be able to learn enough. And we're not here in this live to tell you that you need to learn everything or you need to learn all of those things. What we're here is to encourage you to continue to just learn and be able to take whatever season of your life is currently being offered to you and accepting that and understanding that it will go through a cycle and you will have seasonality within your life. And that is a part of that growth mindset. Just simply understanding that you will not always be growing, but you can always have growth in different seasons of your life, if that makes any sense at all.
I think that makes complete sense. And the way I would summarize a growth mindset, because to be honest, I find growth mindset the most attractive thing about people in my life. Like the people I surround myself with have a growth mindset. And the difference to me is, you know, if you hear someone say, I'm just always late. I'm just always late. I'm just like a late person. That is like they're choosing to identify themselves as a late person versus someone saying, I'm working on being on time more often. That to me is someone who sees a weakness, but doesn't say, I am my weakness and there's nothing to be done.
Yes.
And I want to be around the people with a growth mindset. And also, yes, of course, have grace on yourself. When you are going through a drowning season, you know, little tiny growth is everything. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah. This is also probably the hardest one that we might talk about today, because I think embracing challenges is incredibly difficult, especially if you're in the season of your life that Katie talked about earlier. It's very difficult to embrace challenges or change or critique when you're just trying to survive. But you can and you will get there eventually. but you can embrace the fact that this is a challenging time of your life. And at some point you will grow from it.
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple things that I have personally had to master growth mindset is uh instead of saying I'm a messy person, say I tend to not see mess very well, and I'm working on
Mm,
changing that. I'm going to become a tidier person. You see the difference in those words. One just feels like nothing to be done. Oh, well, that's just me. And that's not very appealing to me to be around people like that.
yeah.
Um, I don't need perfect people, but I like people who acknowledge that a weakness is something they're working on and not just, what are you going to do? What are
Yeah.
you going to do?
Yeah. My ADHD here in the past few years has been off the chain, just off the wall. And when you deal with like a national shortage of medication, it gets even crazier. Um, and so, but it's nobody else's problem, right? It's my responsibility to manage that, to ensure that I get the things that I need to get done for not only my work, but for my family and for my own well-being. So
Mhm.
I try to have a growth mindset with my mental disability to try to combat that. I think
Yeah.
it's a big part of it.
And I was gonna see how long we could get into the live. It's 26 minutes, and we haven't mentioned the Enneagram yet, but here we are. If you do know your Enneagram type, or if you're familiar with that personality quiz, or any other personality quiz, often what they'll do is they'll rope you into a category. So, for example, I'm an Enneagram 7, and they'll list your strengths and weaknesses. And when they list your weaknesses, one of my personal pet peeves is that doesn't mean these are your weaknesses forever
Mm,
and you're limited by them. I think it means be aware of these. Here's a cheat sheet if you're making a goals list of what to work on, but it doesn't mean a 7 thing would be they don't like responsibility. They may struggle with follow through or due dates. That doesn't mean I get to show up at work and say, guys, I'm a 7. Didn't do it
mm,
again. That is not what that means. It means be aware of that. And you're going to have extra strategy in place in order to combat that list of weaknesses. But you do need to combat them or you're not going to have a job. It's
true.
just the way it
True.
goes.
There are
So
consequences if you don't have a growth mindset.
so let's write in the comments. I've seen a lot of you. I have a growth mindset. Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's do the next one.
Gosh, I love this.
But that animation though, right?
Man, pretty soon we're gonna hear a vroom.
Starburst.
Mhm.
Okay, so this one's really, really near and dear to my heart because it's something I had to learn. I am responsible for my future. Another way to say that is I am my own responsibility.
Mm.
This was the lesson that changed everything for me. There is something called a victim mindset. Now, people with a victim mindset are pretty much the opposite of people with a growth mindset.
We could spend
They
the entire hour just on this one.
Mhm,
This
we
one's
could.
big.
We could. Um, Life is just happening to me. There's nothing to be done. I would do this, but X person won't let me, or X person's in the way, or this obstacle is in the way that I mean, it's not my fault. Nothing's my fault. It's all just happening to me, and here I am. Um, tiny example of this, since you guys saw my weight loss journey earlier, is I have a husband who's naturally thin. To be honest, he does like one crunch and he has an 8-pack. It's very annoying.
It's very annoying, Jared.
um I have someone with a very, very slow metabolism, and I have insulin resistance, and my entire family has diabetes. Like our genetics are extremely, extremely different. Our nutrition needs therefore are extremely, extremely different. If I were to tie my nutrition journey to his because we live in the same house, it would not work. I am responsible for my body and my nutrition and what it needs. And he has nothing to do with that. So if I am waiting, I wanted to do a Whole30. If I am waiting for my husband to get on board and do a Whole30 with me, I will never do a Whole30 period. Believe me, I invited him. Hard pass. Um, And that is fine because he has nothing to do with me. I am my responsibility. Is it cool to join forces on stuff? Sure. And we join forces on some things, but for this one, no. I've seen him go one day without sugar and I don't want to be roommates with him. Like, it has nothing to do with me. I had to decide that that was my journey. And I couldn't say, I'd love to do a Whole30, but Jared, that is a victim mindset. I had to remove myself and decide that that was my responsibility. Um, Lifelong learners seek out opportunities for their benefit and their growth because they understand that they have the power and the responsibility to mold their progress. So
Okay.
you can't wait. You can't wait on someone else to give you permission or to allow or to hand something to you. You just have to decide for yourself, I am my own responsibility and I'm going after this and I don't need anyone else's buy-in. It's up to
True
me.
that. Have you been talking to Emily? She was like, I think I want to start Whole30. Do you want to do it? I was like, hard pass. Hard pass for me. She's like, I didn't want you to do it anyways. I was like, good, because I don't want to do it.
I maybe gave her the spiel where you have to be willing to do without your husband.
Well,
So you're welcome for that.
I'm not on board. Not on board. I was like, can I have Diet Coke? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
You don't need to be on board. It's her responsibility.
Absolutely.
If you guys want this to be true for you, write in the comments, I am responsible. Chachi, are you responsible for you?
Yes, it's a huge life lesson for me. I think we're responsible for our own feelings and emotions and actions and our futures. And I think that's so contrary to what some of us can grow up believing.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to your business and when it comes to tech, I mean, it's the same sort of story of, no one is going to spoon feed you this type of knowledge and info, and we can try to give it to you but you have to go out and you have to seek it in some of the best resources to further yourself and for your future.
Yeah, except for we do have a hack because we're kind of lazy. We'll
We
tell you
do.
later. All right, hit me with this one.
Oh gosh. Okay, so a part of I will discover my and follow my passion. Meaning and passion will energize you into keeping up. Some of us have, for me, and some of you may be like me, I have to have some sort of meaning or passion behind anything that I'm doing. I've never worked in a job outside of like when I was 16 years old and I started a Dollar Tree. I've never had a job to where I didn't personally feel attached to the mission. But some of us don't have the opportunity to be able to do that for their 9 to 5 or for their full-time work, but you can still find that meaning and passion into if you're starting your VA business, wherever you're at in your business. For me, I was extremely passionate about web design in the past, graphic design, and then eventually just got into web design. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed working with the local nonprofits that I was able to start out with. I enjoyed working with the huge multi-million-dollar nonprofits that I was able to work with. I enjoyed having that sort of helping them get their message out. I really only worked for people that had that sort of charity. Like right now, I'm building a website for a foundation that works with adults with special needs. And so being able to just tie that sort of passion. Now, your passion, again, we talked about seasonality. Your passion may subside just a little bit, like it has for me. I don't go around giving presentations about websites or I don't, my Instagram feed or TikTok feed is not all about web design and stuff like that. Not anymore, but it goes through seasonality. Sometimes I get really passionate about wanting to build stuff again and getting my hands dirty. By getting my hands dirty, I mean building websites myself and instead of teaching people, things like that. But you can really tie, and you have such power. Again, you are responsible for your future. You can decide what your passion is. You can figure out what you're really good at and marry those two, and that could be your niche. And we have a whole different, resources about finding your niche. You can get our personality quiz if you go to thevirtualsavvy.com/quiz, I believe. You can figure out what your VA personality is. You might get the creative, the expert, the organizer, the helper, the visionary. And that was really going to help you kind of hone in on the things that you're good at, the things that you're passionate about. And that's really going to help you uncover just who you naturally are. And then if you're a part of Savvy Vault, and we'll get to that a little bit later, we can help you find and hone in on that passion with coaching and coffee. And that's just a time when we get to talk with you. We do it live and everybody can kind of see just what you're good at.
Yeah, literally me and Chachi coach a student
Yeah.
into what they're good at.
And if
It
you've
is
never been given
extremely rewarding.
permission before, let me give you permission now in this moment. You do not have to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to start a VA business providing a service that you are not good at, that you don't have a passion about, that is not meaningful to your life anymore. Obviously, there is a component of profitability in this, but you will not be profitable if you don't talk to the people right because you're miserable because you have
Mm,
to do this, like I never did social media because I hate social media,
mhm,
right? It probably would have got me booked out quicker and probably made more money because everybody wants to have social media, but it wasn't something that I was actually good at or something that I enjoyed doing. So I never did it, and I'm glad I never did it. And I never did it for my own business.
mhm.
And it's incredibly difficult for me. So I do the stuff that I'm good at and double down on that.
When you find your passion, and I'd love to know if anyone in the comments can relate to this, learning is a joy.
Oh gosh,
When I
and so
started
completely different.
photography, I found myself not able to sleep because I was so far into these,
Yeah.
editing tutorials, or I was trying a new edit on a new shoot, and it felt, it felt like something was propelling me to
Yep.
continue learning and dive into it. It was energizing in itself. Now, it will wane. It will. Like anything. I mean, everything it starts with passion, and then it wanes. But having that initial passion that you can come back to, first of all, you get to learn a lot really quickly. And then the learning just becomes maintenance. Like, oh, Lightroom got an update. I need to know how that goes. Oh, this is a new trend with some weird lens. I'll look into that lens. But the initial startup where you're learning everything, if you if it already feels like a drag, that's probably a good sign that you haven't landed on your passion yet.
Yeah.
So passion does equal automatic learning. And I can't emphasize enough having a really important why. Why am I doing this in the first place? And then marrying that with like your skills and ability and what you're super duper interested in, right in there in the middle in the sweet spot. That's your passion, and don't settle until you find the one that makes you really, really excited to like get up and work.
Yeah, and this is a process too. This comes with a caveat. I think the flip side to this is, or the thing that you have to really watch out for, is shiny object syndrome.
Mm,
Especially if you're in a creative industry, there are so many cool things that are happening, especially right now with AI, Chat GPT, stuff like that. These programs are becoming increasingly more intuitive, and it becomes really easy to start something new. But that doesn't mean now that process of discovery, of initial discovery and trying a bunch of new things, that is definitely a part of the process. Now, there comes a threshold when you just have to stop discovering brand new things and going all in all the time.
mm,
There is a threshold, but there is also value in discovering what that is and trying different things. Only you can kind of decide what that threshold is,
mhm,
but there's such value in finding what you're really, really good at and doubling down and throwing your resources into those things. So just
mm.
wanted to throw that caveat in there.
This is hitting Jessamine on the head. I don't know what I'm passionate about. Never could answer that question. I used to confuse what I'm good at with what I'm passionate
Oh,
about. Yeah, it's really good. Definitely take our quiz. There is over 100 ways to specialize your VA business. And honestly, it's a great way to raise your rates because you become the expert in one tiny thing instead of being a jack of all trades.
yeah.
So if you don't know your passion, well, first of all, if you do already know what you're passionate about, I would love to hear those responses in the comments. So if you've already found a niche that you think is fitting you really well, please share those because it might inspire someone else who's listening to look into that. And if you don't know, write this sentence: I will discover and follow my passion. I believe
Mm.
in you guys. I believe that there is a passion for everyone. And if you need help, hit me and Chachi up because we could talk about this all day. We never get sick of it. All right. Number 4. That's sweet animation, though, you guys. Maybe I'll be an
Thank you.
animator. Uh, I am an expert in my field. If I don't know it already, I will figure it out. How empowering does that feel
Figure it outedness.
to say it? Say it again, Chachi.
Figure it outedness.
That is a made up word at our company. And if you can have figure it outedness, the sky is the limit, friends. You can do anything. Through lifelong learning and growth, you can actually create a personal brand. And by that, I just mean like actually as a person. Like, I think I'll call Katie. She probably knows the answer. If she doesn't, she could probably figure it out. You can literally position yourself as the expert. And if you're not freelance yet, if you're still a full-time employee, you can do this in your full-time employment.
Absolutely.
Like, you make yourself indispensable to the company because they just know you're gonna figure it out. You just have that quality about you. It's contagious almost, like to be around a person like that. If you are proactive in learning new skills, you will start to get really used to and not fear this whole like, I'm learning, now I'm doing, oh, now I'm unlearning because it changed. And now I'm learning again. And that's, I'm not going to panic each time that phase happens. I'm just kind of rolling with it. But I love, 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 love the phrase, if I don't know it already, I will figure it out. Because you know what? No one is actually expecting. I think we have this fear of like, what if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to?
Oh gosh, yeah.
What if I'm not able to answer it on the spot in the moment?
And I look like a moron.
That's probably not really an expectation anyone actually has of you, not your clients, not anyone. I personally would much rather hear from someone, hey, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to get back to you, versus someone who's clearly like BSing you. Like, well, yes, I obviously know that. I'm not going to tell you at this moment, but hang on, my Wi-Fi's cutting out. Like, just be honest with what you know and then tell them, I'll get back to you. I'll find the answer. I'll find it shortly. Yeah. Have you ever BS'd anyone that you thought you knew, like that they...
I never BS anybody.
I don't believe you again.
I never BS anybody, and I'm on time all the time. I don't procrastinate. So I don't really know what you're talking about. I don't really know what you're talking about. No, it's a really empowering thing. I also think that transparency is really powerful in business too. I think so much of business, whether it's corporate or contract work, there is an element of BSing and trying to behave professionally and say the right words and the right cadence and act like you know it. But I personally connect with those entrepreneurs that are really transparent and say like, I've never done that before. I could probably figure it out though.
Right.
I'm down with those people.
Right.
Transparency is huge.
I am trying to find the website for our quiz. It's thevirtualsavvy.com/quiz. And wow. Okay, Suzanne. And if you are the team working in the comments, if you wouldn't mind throwing that link in the comments, it is a great way to start trying to find your niche and your passion. I am loving, loving, loving these affirmations you guys are posting. Graphic and web design is your passion. Is this a reasonable goal? Are you kidding?
Let's go.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Chachi and I both teach courses related to this in the Savvy Vault, which we'll talk about later. Okay, so I want to hear in the comments, just like the other ones. Oh yeah, here it is. Awesome. Thank you for helping us with that. I want to hear that you are an expert in your field. So let's just say, again, it doesn't have to be true now, but we're going to say it into existence. All right. So say, I am an expert. Write it there. Chachi, can you say it for me?
I am an expert.
No question mark. Try it again.
I am an expert.
Ah, so good. So good. All right. And here's our last number 5, our mindset tip. Bring it home. Chachi.
I will stretch beyond my own expectations. Lifelong learners invent and reinvent themselves whenever they find or create the opportunity. Okay with leaving their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
The comfort zone, again, there is seasonality of your life. Sometimes staying in your comfort zone is a very, very good thing. It is also a very good thing. There's such value in going just beyond. One of the things that I thought was really beautiful, my wife is a speech and language pathologist, and there's something called the, she might be listening and I may just butcher this, something about zonal proximity, right? So when she's teaching one of her students, how to develop a skill or language, You're supposed to go just one language beyond what they're comfortable with or what they currently know. And I thought, man, if it was always that easy to just sort of what is the next step beyond your comfort zone? You don't have to go 3 or 4. You don't have to jump completely off the bridge if if you've never swam before. It's not that sort of thing. But you just go one step.
Mm.
And
So
maybe
good.
it's a marriage of the two, right? One step is comfortable for me. Going one step beyond my comfort zone is what's comfortable to me. So you don't have to go too far. And I think so much of us have an expectation that you have to do something completely out of your comfort zone in order to grow. Growth does not have to be exponential. Actually, it will become exponential if you grow 1% better every single day. And
It doesn't have to be radical.
Doesn't have to be radical. There you go. It will become exponential, but it does not have to be a radical growth. So whatever the next step is for you outside of your comfort zone, that's the one that you need to take. Not 2 or 3, just one. I think it's really important. Also, when we're talking about this, is that there, especially with tech, but in really anything in your life, there are going to be opportunities that will create themselves for you. Meaning, whether it's, you just hit restart and now you just hit update and now you have this almost entirely different program in your life, the one that you probably used for 10 years. But now that creates another opportunity for when that passion starts to wane a little bit, that's a new opportunity for you to get back into it and to figure out the new things and how you can use it. And it gets your brain firing all over again. So there's opportunities that will come to you, and there's some that you will have to create for yourself. And it's a marriage of those two and figuring out what's comfortable for you in that moment and what's going to move you towards growth.
Yeah. And just to tie this one back to like those first few comments we saw from our students where they said words like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm lacking. I'm not creative enough. Those are self-limiting expectations. Let's blow our own minds. Let's blow our own self-limiting expectations. That just, I just feel so empowered by this. So just, if you're feeling it in the comments, let's say for this one, say, I will leave my comfort zone. Let's say that in the comments. I will leave my comfort zone.
What's so wild about all of this is that we would never say that about somebody else.
No.
Right? You would never say you're not creative enough. Like you're not smart enough to figure this out. So why on earth would we say those type of phrases and use that language with ourselves? I mean, like we said, this is so much bigger than tech. This is about love. This is about self-love, about loving who you are, figuring out who you are. And it all kind of comes together. It's not, we don't live in a vacuum of tech. This is such a part of figuring out who you are as a person.
And the thing that's just so cool is like when you decide that you are a lifelong learner, you literally can do anything. You can do anything. You can read an article, you can probably follow it, and you can do it. We were all smart people. If you found your way to this live and were able to turn it on, you could probably do anything, you guys. What do you want to do? Go do it. Listen to this empowering stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So good. Okay. So we're about 48 minutes into this. So I do want to go ahead and talk about how you and I are actually, in fact, a little bit lazy. And
decently lazy, I think was your...
We're, efficient is what you said.
Yeah.
And we do want to talk about our secret hack for, I know this was all about mindset, but we want to get to the tech part too, because that's important. And with your guys' permission, it's no surprise, Chachi and I work for the Virtual Savvy, and we are both the faces of Savvy Vault, which is a product, a very affordable product that we are passionate about, that is all about all of this stuff. So do I have your permission to present to you the product that me and Chachi have been working our little patooties off and that we're very proud of? If so, say, let's go.
Let's go. I don't know if I can answer, but I did.
Do I have your permission, Chachi?
You do.
Okay, so Chachi and I have spent like, I don't know, 6 months or so, 8 months, putting a lot of extra love into our product, the Savvy Vault. Look, it's us.
That's us.
That's us. We're holding some of the workbooks that happen inside it. So, what the Savvy Vault is, and if you're already a Savvy Vault student, holler in the comments. Chances are we already know you because we're best friends in there. But what it is over 70 tech trainings specifically designed for virtual assistants. So, if you are wanting to learn, Honeybook, there's a course specifically on Honeybook, the tech involved in Honeybook, but it also is created by a virtual assistant for a virtual assistant, with being a VA, offering services to clients in mind. Same with all of these other courses. I teach a branding and design course inside of the vault. And when I designed the course, about design, I made sure to include, if you're offering this as a freelance service for your clients, how do you package? How do you relate to clients? What do you teach in there? I mean, obviously I took it.
Obviously, I think I have a couple of them. I teach Samcart, but that's a platform courses. There's some that are platform courses, and there's some that are skills-based courses. And then I also teach how to build sales funnels and offer that as a service.
Yes, which is a very high-end skill that you can charge a lot of money for.
Very profitable.
Very profitable. So this is, in our opinion, we tried to create the hack we wish we had when we were starting out. And my favorite thing about this whole package deal is, instead of trying to scour the internet for an updated tech tutorial, are they a good teacher? Do I have follow-up questions? Is there someone to ask the follow-up questions to, or does it just go into the universe and no one will ever hear me? Not only are you going to get all of these unlimited tech trainings, but you also get unlimited tech support with us. So if you have an actual tech question, if you finish a course and you're like, I didn't understand step 4, you can literally submit a tech ticket and Chachi will actually answer you. Physically, he will answer you. So earlier when I discussed about panicking over my IT department leaving me, the idea that I could just email Chachi, which by the way is what I do now. Thanks, bud. And having like an actual human person be able to share my screen and walk me through that, like that to me is, we created the thing I wish that I had when I went freelance for the first time. And that's why we're really, really excited to share that with you guys today. And for 4 days only, we're actually only 3 days left. We are doing a major spring sale. It's $100 off. So I'm just going to walk you through the pricing. If this sounds exciting to you, holler in the comments. So there's 3 ways to do this. There's 3 ways to become a Savvy Vault member. You can do it monthly, which is obviously very inexpensive. You can do it annually, which gives you a big discount, or you can actually get lifetime access and never ever worry about tech the rest of your actual life. Chachi literally is in a lifelong commitment with you.
Yes.
After that. Is that true? Is that in your contract?
Yep. It's all there.
So yes, if you want to join annually, we are discounting that $100 just for the next couple days, $100 off. So you can pay $367 for, the entire year. And if you never want to worry about tech again, lifetime access, which is usually almost $2,000, we are discounting that $500. So again, no monthly payments, no annual payments, just one time, and it's done forever. You get access to all future courses. You get access to our community where you guys can talk to each other. You get access to our coaching sessions where we could physically coach 2-on-1 with you guys. It's a great value. Not to mention, each course has an accompanying workbook. We've got your VA productivity tech stack. So if you just want to master all the general VA skills, all of that is in a tidy little pack. And we've got our 4-person tech team with various expertise, so that if you have a branding question, you can ask me. More technical question, you can ask Chachi. If you need to ask an experienced VA who's been everywhere you have been, we got Sarah and Alicia on those as well. All right, read these for us, Chachi.
Oh gosh, you know what? I do want to read those, but I also want to read some of these over here. Erica has said, where did it go, Erica? I love the Savvy Vault. Wait, not that one. She commented a couple of times. I got lifetime access. She loves the Savvy Vault team. There's a couple of different ones in there. I'm already, let's go. Savvy Vault is awesome.
So I love that.
We already have members here that are already here and are just continuing to come here. Lindsay says, if you're not a Savvy Vault member, you're so missing out. Anner says, hello, I can testify that the Savvy system and the Savvy Vault are both worth the money. And Nicole is actually one of our coaches for the Savvy Circle.
Now
who
she is.
started with
Yeah.
the Savvy Vault. I can attest that I knew nothing about the VA world until about a year ago. She joined the Savvy system and Savvy Vault, and now she has the skills to be so confident, and that's crazy. And she's now one of our coaches that teaches inside of our Savvy Circle. So many incredible stories inside of there, and we love hearing about them. There's so many of them. Like we should have talked to Robbie. Robbie's in there all the time. There's so many incredible.
I love that Nicole said, I will never not have a Savvy Vault membership.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Monica says, the Savvy Vault is so worth it. The Dubsado course alone is over 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rachel.
Shout out to Rachel. She said, I heard that course instructor was intense. Okay. So for only 4 days, again, you can get $100 discount off of annual, or a $500 discount off of lifetime. If none of those sound like something you're willing to do, you can also just jump in monthly. If there's one course you want to take, or if you want to do 1 month of being able to ask Chachi questions just to get yourself on the floor, or get yourself off the ground, what is it? 47 a month?
$47 a month. Yeah.
$47 a month. Cancel literally anytime. No questions asked. Honestly, we don't have time to ask questions. So unlimited.
And come back anytime you want.
And you can come back anytime you want. No hard feelings. Some people jump in, jump out, take it when they need it, a la carte. Again, you have unlimited tech support with our tech team and this guy right here, Chachi Diaz.
And literally, it comes to me. It comes in my task, my ClickUp task. So I see when it's due, when you sent it to me, and then I will research the answer, and I will send you a Loom within a couple of days, probably at the most, into your inbox, and then you kind of have like direct access to me to where ask me follow-up questions, whatever it is.
And I also want to point out, like, he's also just like a good human with high emotional intelligence. So like if you're going through a hard time, like you're going through like a breakup, you're not sure what to wear on your date.
Leave them.
Just kidding. Keep it to tech if you can.
Yeah.
Same goes to me if you have something more about branding or your positioning, or maybe you're throwing out a couple titles, company names. All of those can be asked inside of the Savvy Vault community, and we're in there all the time. We go live, we do coaching in there, and so we're going to talk about that just for a minute. If you haven't seen our live that normally happens during this time in the big group, it's called the VA Brunch Club, but just for our Savvy Vault students, only Savvy Vault students, you can actually do our coaching and coffee, which is presented by us, the VA Brunch Club. We do it once a month, and you can apply if you are one of the ones that are not sure about your passion, or maybe you're going between two and you're just not sure what to do. You need an actionable plan of what to do next. You want to know what that one step is because you're tired of thinking about it. We will actually coach you live. People show up to it just like this. I love that, Desiree. We'll see you inside. Can't wait. And you don't have to take our word for it. Kelly Hill here says, I'm finally choosing a niche. Thank you, Chachi and Katie, for such an awesome coaching with coffee call. You guys are amazing. She was great. I think like there's an unwritten rule that the people who join Savvy Vault are just the best humans. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that in like our rule book? They're all awesome.
We asked you on the intake form, are you a good human?
Okay, so yeah, and if you don't want to wait, you can go to thesavvyvault.com. Someone in our team will throw that in the comments so you can guys click through at any point in time. But also for the spring sale, because we're crazy.
These are so good.
Not only do you get instant access to this standard thing that comes with Savvy Vault, which is a ton of stuff, we are also throwing in these bonuses. So why don't you walk us through what's in this package here? Because it's a lot.
Okay, the Organized VA Productivity Bundle. This is just a whole lot of Trello board templates, and a training that goes along with it to get you organized. It's a great first step. I'm talking about Emily a lot, my wife, but she says all the time, I cannot start a system myself, but once I have it in place, I follow it like it's my gospel. And this is exactly what the Organized VA Productivity Bundle is. It's a system to get you started, and then you can kind of build and manipulate it however you need to. Great first step. The Social Media Savvy Content Calendar. is
It's amazing.
ridiculous. So
Oh, somebody has joined us.
Ah! She's
Hello,
here.
Emily Diaz.
She's here. That is just an incredible product in and of itself. One that we probably should remove and sell by itself because
For
of the
thousands of
value.
dollars.
Yeah, it's just incredible. You don't have to think about what you're going to post as a VA. It's here for you, and it's just incredible value. The personality webinar bundle is for our people who just love to dive into the Enneagram, introvertedness, extrovertedness, so many incredible things, how to be bold in your business. Some of our favorite webinars that we've done, kind of the highlights of what we've done. We've put almost our life's work into these webinars and have packaged them up. So we're delivering all of these as bonuses.
In case you wanted to hear me and Chachi talk more
about the Enneagram,
there's a webinar in there for Enneagram for VAs. Suzanne, absolutely, we're going to get you those bonuses, girl. We take care of our people.
As soon as you purchase into the vault, I have it set up to where as soon as you purchase right now, you get direct access to those bonuses. So
that's right.
Same day, same
if you missed that website at savvyvault.com, website created by Chachi Diaz. There's so many meta layers going on here. So now is your chance to get those bonuses and to get it at never before seen pricing. And now we're just going to ask you guys if you have any other questions, either about the Savvy Vault, about mindset things that we've talked about. If you want to know how I lost 80 pounds, let's just throw that in there too. But as your questions are coming in, we're going to go ahead and address the most frequently asked questions because you're probably already thinking them. Yes, Rachel, it's like Rachel's not paying attention. Yes, the current students get access to these amazing bonuses. You know, she's got a lot of good qualities. But she did just ask a question that Chachi just answered. Okay, so what if I only want to take a few of the courses, Chachi?
You can, and there's no hard feelings. You can come in at the $47 a month. That one's always available. So it's an open enrollment type of thing all the time, but we don't discount that monthly value. We don't want to go any lower than 47, just out of respect for the entire. The course contributors in here are amazing. Now, let me bring Rachel back into this. Rachel is a certified Dubsado instructor or specialist, whatever it's called. She's certified in that. I've done sales funnels for, I nailed it. I've done sales funnels for years, right? You've been a personal brander. I've worked with incredible brands. We all teach courses inside of the Savvy Vault. So these course contributors, not just people that we found on the street that just said, hey, I'll do it. We make sure that they're actually experts in their field. They know what they're teaching. And so the value is there at $47 a month at any point in time that you want to. But again, you can come in at $367 during this promotional time, or lifetime access for $1467.
So if you only want to take a few of those courses, take a few courses and cancel your membership. No hard feelings. We get it. How long does it take to complete the courses? Apparently, Rachel's, it takes 4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah. Some of them are really long. Some of them are 4 to 6 hours. Some of them you can probably take in an hour. Just depending.
Yeah, I think my branding course clocks out about 2.5 hours. And part of the reason why it's different is because the platforms are different and the skill sets are different. And we definitely didn't want to add any extra fluff just to try to make it take longer. I mean, we are all busy. If it's me, I want to learn what do we have? Let's say MailChimp. I want to learn that as quickly as possible so I can move on with my life and go to the next thing. So some are very short and efficient and some are pretty complex.
Yeah, there's no, the actual course itself might be 2.5 hours. It might take you longer to go through there, depending on if you want to do it, side by side or anything like that. But anywhere from 1 to 6 hours.
Yep. That's right. And each course comes with a workbook. And again, the community you can ask questions to, or just ask Chachi. Who teaches those courses? We do.
We do.
We don't teach all of them. If we don't know the answer, we found someone who did. See that from earlier? So we've got people who are experts in their fields and have been offering these as services or using them in their VA business for a really long time. And then when the platform gets an update, we update the course inside Savvy Vault as well.
Yeah. And some of these course contributors are still in the Savvy Vault. So obviously, if we teach a course, we're in there. Sarah taught this Shopify course in there. So she's in there.
Mhm.
The person who did the Trello course answers Trello questions all the time. So our course contributors are still within that. So you can also tag them inside of the group if they're available, and most of them will probably answer you. So if you have a question about the specific course itself, it's a great, great opportunity.
That's right. I will go ahead and answer this one. When does the spring sale end? Thursday at 10 p.m.
Thursday,
Yep.
10 p.m.
Got a couple days left here, friends.
Yep.
I hope you join just because I want new friends. I just really like people.
You are lacking in the friendship. Yeah. That's what I say about you all the time. I wish you had more friends. I really wish you did.
In case you don't speak sarcasm, I think you're joking. Are you joking?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Okay. All right. Will this be a lot of work?
Nah. Speaking of sarcasm, yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is mindset work too. You know,
Mm,
it's not just, you know, the practical of building a business and stuff like that. It's a lot of trying to find your niche or working
yeah.
through issues that you didn't know that you were going to have. So yeah, it can be a lot of work.
It can be a lot of work, but what I will also say is it is so guided, instead of just looking at a platform and then floundering on YouTube and spinning your wheels. It's so nice to open a course and follow it step by step.
Yep.
So while it takes physical effort to sit down at your computer or print out the workbook, hopefully we did relieve a lot of the mindset hurdles that it takes to, just spin your wheels. Yeah.
Let me answer this question right here. I love the Savvy Vault. Where will the bonuses show up in existing accounts? So at the end of our sale on Thursday, everybody who purchases during this time will already get access to them. But once they are, our sale ends on Thursday, I will go in and I will click everybody and I will give them all the bonuses on Thursday.
Yep.
At the end of the
That's
day.
right. That's right.
That's just so I don't miss anybody.
So I ask you guys a question. Are you ready to never stress about tech again? I'm ready.
I'm the one that's stressing. Everybody's going to ask me the question, so I have to. It's not happening.
What happens if the tech guy doesn't know?
Man, no.
I know what you do. You say, I don't know right now, but I'm going to figure it
That's
out.
exactly what I do. Yeah. Who do I ask? Where? No. The the questions that have come to me, I've been able to really, if I have to research it, I can research it just a little bit, but I can help you as much as I possibly can. And if I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know the answer to that. There have been a couple that have come inside the group that have asked me very specific questions about a platform that I've never even heard of. So I that as the tech guy am not immune to this growth
Mhm.
mindset or not immune to, not knowing enough about tech. It's a constant learning process. So we can do it together.
Do we have a course about Kajabi?
We do have a course about Kajabi.
There you have it.
Yep. And if there's something inside of there that you need help with, I work in Kajabi every single day and I can help you with whatever you need.
All right. And Yasik says, I am very interested, but I can't do it until tomorrow. Will I still get the discount?
You absolutely will.
Yep. You have until 10 p.m.
Thursday.
on Thursday. That's Central Standard Time.
Yep.
Savvyvault.com. This one's interesting. How do you get lifetime when you are already a member of the vault?
Andrea. So what you can do, I think, Rachel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you will email the hello@thevirtualsavvy.com and we can kind of cancel out your current membership and then you can get on to the lifetime access.
All right. Sounds good.
Purposes. Yeah.
Desiree is in. We can't wait.
Awesome.
The tech support, is there an email distribution list or a link? I believe it's a link, correct?
It's a link. Yeah. I think you can go inside of really any course inside of the Savvy Vault and I'll be right there in the right-hand corner. You'll see my little mug and I'm like standing like this, just like in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
It says submit a tech ticket. I think the URL is virtualsavvy.com/tech support.
Well, don't tell them until they're in the vault.
Oh yeah. Well, now I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that
he's going to find you. Yeah. If you can see, oh wait, can you see my cursor right there?
I can. Yes.
Yeah. Look how like tech, you look so like, I don't know, tech smart in that photo.
Do I?
Is that what you were channeling?
I think I was just like, man, I'm like 2 hours in. Can we just get this over with?
It's very
So that was-
similar. Your fake smile is very believable, so
Yes.
that's good to know. I was the photographer on that set, so now I know what you were actually thinking. I thought
Yes.
you were a good sport, but I guess you were
No,
over it.
usually I'm not.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming through, and we are a little over an hour. Chachi, you're a delight.
Thanks. You are
Thanks,
too.
thanks for sharing your mindset tips. I learned a lot
Yeah.
from you during
Thanks for
this.
sharing your story. That was really vulnerable to be able to do that in
Oh,
front of all of our friends.
well,
It looks like they got a lot out of it, and so did I. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. If you want more of this sweetness, come join us
Sweetness to
inside this.
sarcasm. You want more of these Sour Patch Kids? Join us inside of the Savvy
Join
Vault.
us in the vault. We have a good time in there. All right, we're going to sign off. If we missed any of your questions, or if you're watching at a later date, go ahead and still put your questions in the comments, and our team will be coming through and replying to those just in Facebook. So it's not too late to ask all of your questions, or you can email support@thevirtualsavvy.com, and we've got a whole team of ladies that are amazing that will respond to you there too. Thank you for everything, Yasix. I hope we see you in the vault.
Bye, friends.